to show up. But what we'll do is we'll unmute ours, but we'll mute your volume if that's okay. If you could do that, and Marty's going to come up and.
You're all here.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I'm also here.
Oh, great. On our screen, let me switch it. Oh my goodness. Geez, I had it in the wrong view. I'm so glad you all are here. Hello, Esther. Hello, Sarah. Can you all hear me?
Hello.
Here, we'll turn on our videos. Hello. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you in person. Hello, Esther. Am I saying everyone's name right? And it's Ayelet.
Yes.
Ayelet, Esther, and Sarah. Great. And we have another person.
That's my Aunt Madeline.
Oh, great. Cool. Say, you know what? We had a fourth place. Now it's Madeline.
I should join as an audience member. I don't think you can.
Well, folks, we got a great house here at Peter White Public Library to hear you today. I'm so excited to hear y'all's readings. Here's how we'll do it. I'm going to turn it over here to Marty Ackitts in just a bit, and he's going to give a brief introduction. If you all can stay on the screen, what we'll do is we'll maybe just remember to all mute when we're not speaking, and then when it's your turn, I'll carry it over. I'm just going to give a brief introduction for each of you and read a blurb, and then I'd love for you to feel free before you start your reading just to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, maybe how to pronounce your name, and also just maybe a little bit about your book before you go into it. So you got some really appreciative poets here, excited to hear you. So thank you all for being with us. Let me turn it over to Marty.
All right. Welcome. Hi. All right. Yeah. Second to the last event of the Great Lakes Poetry Festival, and always one of my favorite events of the whole week. So my name is Marty Ackitts, and I'm the Adult Programming Coordinator for the library here, and I'm also one of the co-organizers with Ronnie Ferguson and Lynn Domina of this year's Great Lakes Poetry Festival. So I'm really excited to have Sarah and Esther and Ayelet here. Just to let you know, there's one more event, and it's a very stress-free event next tomorrow night at 5 p.m. If you head on out to Rippling River Resort, we're going to have music, we're going to have poets reading, and there's also beer and pizza. So if any of those things are a draw for you, please come. And you don't have to show up right at 5. You can show up whenever during that time. We're scheduled from 5 to 8. And if you are a poet and feel so inclined, bring some poems. There's going to be an opportunity for open mic stuff as well. So, I just have to thank a few groups here, as always. I have to thank the Friends of Peter White Public Library, who are paying for the live streaming equipment and the live stream that we have going on. They pay for quite a bit, including they gave us the proceeds for doing the 3-day International Chapbook Competition this year. So we have the Friends to thank for that. Let's see, I'll also thank the Carol Paul Memorial Trust Fund, which pays for all of our musical programming. Janine and Rick Rastel, who were very generous in a donation to sponsor the program, the Poetry Festival this year, and also the UP Poet Laureate Foundation and the Marquette Poet Circle. So before I turn it back over to our Master of Ceremonies, I just get to sit back and watch, which I really love doing. I also want to let you know I just put out the last few boxes of free poetry books over there. I'm doing a 2-for-1 sale this time. There are all kinds of boxes over there, so you fill up one box and you get another box for free as well. So they're all over there. Please help yourself to any of those books, because guess what? If you don't take them this year, you're going to get them back next year. So anyway... I'm going to turn everything over now to Ronnie Ferguson, my great friend, and also a really great collaborator on practically everything that I do. So please welcome back to the stage, Ronnie Ferguson.
Thank you, Marty. First of all, the first thing I'll tell you all is this is our third international 3-day poetry chapbook contest. It's grown from, we had maybe 30 to 40 submissions our first year. This year we had to cap it at 100, and we got submissions from, I think we found out four continents. Okay, and all three of these winners were chosen by Diane Glancy. So first up, I'm going to tell you about Cat Lady, A Journey in American Sentences by Sarah Josephine Pennington. I'm going to read the blurb. Sarah Josephine Pennington's Cat Lady, A Journey in American Sentences is both first aid kit and survival guide for the wounded body and soul. Using the American sentence, a poetic form invented by Allen Ginsberg, Pennington gazes unflinchingly into pain's tears, her depths, her intricacies, her ways. Spare on the page, each line is surgical, dissecting what it means to be caregiver and patient, to become whole and wholly lost. What Pennington accomplishes in this poetic fist of a book is remarkable. She transforms suffering into beauty, grief into comfort. Please, let's give a warm welcome to Sarah Josephine Pennington. All right, Sarah, and if you can hear me, I'm going to mute myself. We'll all mute ourselves, and then you can unmute yourself.
Excerpts.
Yeah, sorry, Sarah. We were just looking at some technical. Let me ask this, Esther and Ayala, can you hear Sarah okay on your end?
Yes.
Okay, good. We got the tech fixed now. So yeah, thank you for the introduction, Sarah. And yes, please, we would love to hear from your book. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I have a note at the beginning of my book. I got really focused on 17 syllables. I had 3 days. And then I turned it in, and like 2 days later, it hit me that American sentences usually don't have a period in the middle of them, and a few of mine do. So I'm calling them belligerent American sentences, which is unfortunately a common state for those of us who live in America. And you know, I tried my best to corral them, but poems are gonna do what they're gonna do. So I'm gonna give you a few poems from a couple sections of this chapbook. The first section is The Living Room, A Terrible Sunday in 2021. You have given up that old cat trick. You huddle small to meet your end. Your once plump body has grown thin, limp, sick. With bated breath, you court death. The cat hospital. We rechristen the laundry room, call it the cat hospital, your hope. Fluids flow twice daily, then once. Your prayers fill the air, loud, lovely. You are Tiresias, withered body, ulcered eye on the future. The living room, a month later. A warning unheeded. It starts as an annoyance. Muscle cramps, stiffness. I tell myself nothing bad starts with one leg. You stay close, comforting. As hours pass, I learn pain's terrors, her depths, her intricacies, her ways. My leg fills with fire, is slow to bend, foot asleep. I repeat, I'm fine. I plead with God, please, 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 no, no. Let it be nothing. Amen. She knows I do not believe. You saw my heretic prayers on you. The emergency room. Diagnosis, hysteria, nothing more, the female condition. Private room, med surg floor. My teeth grow fuzzy, hair coats my tongue, welcome distractions from the pain. The doctor says urgent, says herniation, says paralyzation. The doctor cancels other surgeries. He asks if I understand. I let Ronald McDonald amputate a playworld to end this pain. A small true thing. I know I wouldn't have come in time had he not voiced his plaintive mew. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Wonderful reading. Appreciate it. Yeah, but just so you folks know too, Sarah, Ayelet, and Esther, you've already sold a couple books here today, so we'll be sending you your other copies and prizes and all the money you made today. So again, thank you so much. All right, next up we have Ayelet, and Ayelet, can you tell us how to say your last name again? I am so sorry I'm asking for the third time.
No, you're good. It's Amitai.
Ayelet Amitai.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Ayelet. Ayelet's book is called Therapy Room. And let me just read the blurb that was written by one of our first round judges. Therapy Room allows us into a room made to hold minds. In the room, there are no plants but a flower. It is green and on a cup. There is no music but a score framed and hanging on one of the four walls. Yet the painting of a moon is strong enough to pull at the ocean, always at the edge of the poet's mind. Within these four walls, during 50-minute sessions, what is most concrete is time and the passing, specifically the passing of my time with you. The particular mind of this poet allows us to hear the listening and see the space where one risks everything for you to see me. Outside and beyond the space are trees, a river, Trump signs on the way to the coast, real flowers, the brittle braille of Queen Anne's lace, both seen and felt, the blood-sucking nature of my longing, and the ocean. Within the short space of these 12 poems, it makes us believe that while nothing can be beheld all at once, it can be beheld. Please, everyone, let's welcome Ayelet.
Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you who are listening. I wish I could see you, but I appreciate you being here to listen. So I'm Ayelet, and I'm a poet and a psychiatric nurse practitioner, which means that I have my own clients with whom I do therapy, and I also am a consumer of therapy for many years. And so this chapbook came about when I was driving in the car on the way to the coast to write these poems, and I started to recite them into a recorder, kind of as an ongoing letter to my own therapist. And when I got out to the coast, I typed up everything I had recorded, and I edited it, and I sent it in. So, it's strange to write a collection in 3 days, but that was kind of the process. I just wanted to share too that in addition to being lucky enough to be chosen for this award, I also have a debut collection that came out this year. So I'll hold it up so you can see it. It's called The Eating Knife. And this is a book about why I'm in therapy. So if you find yourself asking that question, you can read about that in this book. So I'm going to read probably the first half of the chapbook. It's only 12 poems, so I'll read 6. It's called Therapy Room. Therapy Room. 1. You say, come in. Behind me, the door's soft seam. A smell of cleanliness. What's being scrubbed away? What's being framed in the glass panes of the window? My place is on the couch, yours in the chair across from me, the distance between us opening and closing like a curtain. I hear the intent listening in your face. I have seen you grow older. I have seen the sun touch you. I have seen your fear as you have seen mine. 2. There is nothing living in your office, no plants. Gratitude for the lack of possible death. Sometimes we look out the window at the trees, listen to the sobbing of the train. These lives exist in another galaxy, not here where you are trying to call to me and I am trying to listen. What does it mean to try to love when love feels impossible? It means that minute by minute, for 50 minutes, I place my faith in you, and then I take it back. It means the hours we are not together mark a kind of loss. 3. This is not my first time. The couch is familiar, hybrid of holding and held, soft and formed, too big, too small. I choose what to look at instead of your face. Your cup with a green flower, the side table with the red tiles, a painting of the moon. You decorate your office to be both neutral and personal. I joke with you that your carpet is designed to hypnotize, small black dots on a gray background. You tell me it came with the office, which was once a lawyer's. This space that holds me and all the fear and grief that I say and don't say used to be where people came to speak their grievances, seek justice. And before that, before the building existed, a grassy patch yards from the river. We have not always been this tableau of listening and being heard. 4. A bookshelf behind you. The books represent what you know. If I read them, the wand you wave back and forth to conduct healing. If I held it, if I didn't ask for too much, if I didn't ask for everything. 5. There is a musical score on the wall of your office. Am I going in the right direction? I have played that piece in my mind, a tether to you and a reminder. An hour and music are not enough. I am supposed to take you and your room inside of me, like swallowing a star. I am supposed to hold you in mind, and I can't. 6. Once in the summer here, we left the back door open, and you noticed a white cat on the doorstep. You thought she was a baby until you noticed her baby beside her. You asked me to come look at them, but I was too afraid. What it would evoke in me, the longing to be held. Already I'm a child on your hip. We stand in a field of wheat, as if we could be swallowed by wind and gold and sunlight. Thank you so much.
Ayala, thank you so much. I forgot to do this for our first two books, but I would like to do it now. Let me show you these two covers, so beautiful. Here's the first one. This was Cat Lady and Therapy Room. Both of these books are available through Harvard Square Press. If you're hearing us in YouTube land, you can order them. And next up, our final book tonight to hear from, and our final poet. This book is called Intentional Room, and it's by Esther Matthau, and it was the winner of this contest this year, judged by Diane Glancy. Let me read you what Diane wrote. Intentional Room is a lyrical journey into the interior. The shape of language becomes an architecture of detailed description to claim place in the moving reality. It is an indirect love story, a restless meditation beyond the mere telling of plot. Esther Matthau reaches into layers and nuances of her surroundings. There is creative authority in this roundabout love story. From a calendar whose upper pages grow roses, to what love but love of green for water. Matthau sings a song in a different frequency. The definition of love, the definition of language, are a conjecture of the poet. Intentional Room is a litany in which Matthau allows change into her scripted place. The story takes place inside a mind, inside a memory, and inside a defined space. It is a contemplation of order, making landscape serve as a revelation of the interior, where description is itself an entire action. I am certain of labyrinth. I am certain of suspension. Diane Glancy. Please, everyone, please welcome Esther Matthau.
Hi, thank you all for, again, I also wish that I could see you, but thanks for being here and listening, and thank you, Ayala and Sarah. I feel so honored to be alongside your work and get to hear it in your voices. So, I'm Esther. I'm a writer and artist. I'm from New York City, but I currently live in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is different. But I wrote this chapbook in my summer job, which is in the middle of nowhere in Montana, thinking about the prompt Room for Love. Made me think about an architectural space, but the chapbook also becomes about being in love and the place that I was in. But I thought I would read to you there's a set of poems that sort of shape the chapbook that describe the room. So I thought I would read you just the physical room poems. None of them, they're all just titled the first line of the poem, so they are untitled. On the first wall of the room, there is a calendar whose upper pages grow roses, large, washed-out blooms that do not exist, but nonetheless crawl off of the slick paper, send vines past the margins. Thorns poke through the neat sequestrations of day from day on the ordered monthly pages. Stray petals dust February. It is impractical, but there it is on the first wall of the room, and how could it be avoided? On the first wall of the room, as seen upon entry, as defined by sightline through the room's only door, as so ordained, is a bulletin board whose pins hold in place silhouettes cut from something sheer, waxed, or parchment paper, the laced shapes of trees. Their branches are cut down to impossible narrowness, their absolute shapes against the brown of the cork showing just through the cloud of the slick paper, intended for kitchen, but they forest and conspire. In the river that runs through the first wall of the room, there are many fish. There are smooth stones. There are the distinct shapes of plants moving as the water moves over them, green as the shadow under the paper trees, green as the green of the thorns on the roses, green. The room's second wall is tiled in exquisite blue. Meeting against it, the floor and ceiling look exceptionally opaline, soft but unyielding. The tiles frame a window with a wide seat. The window may look out on nothing, or on stars, or else on the wide grasses, yellow and bent, at the lake with its bulrush islands and the river that ties it to the faraway sea. The room's second wall is the lovely one, the rightmost, the contemplative frame of a perfect scene. The patterns of Delft and subway tile, the sky, all that sky, just as blue, unraveled from the near arrangement of square edges. This, the second wall, neither surface nor ground, back nor front, neither subject nor artifact, just the smooth, unnamed obsolescence of the mountains, the sea. In the third wall of the room, there is the door itself, the entryway, the vantage point, the space at which it ceases to be a simple prism and becomes entangled with the world beyond. The third wall is invisible from here, from the door frame, from the point at which one has not yet entered, from which the room is still not only exterior to self, but also still horizon. The horizontal planes of the floor are like that, edge of the world. The third wall may be unadorned. It may be a space where snow blizzards or buttermelts of the evening sun. It may be gray, maybe lavender, it may be multi-hued and, as Millay says, multicolored, multiform, beloved beauty adjacent to me. It may be as a dream, nowhere. From the third wall of the room, I observe the others to the left and right, straight ahead. I observe the center of the room and its corners, except not the nearest corners, as the door, situated as it is in it, from just the other side, does not permit observation of these spider spaces. There may be spiders in the corners, there may be moth wings, there may be a broom leaning casually against the wall. The room is the place in which, well, after all being as it appears empty, though it may be a place of many spirits, many ghosts. It may be a place where long traditions have played out, lives meeting, making new lines. In the third wall is my face, are my long arms, my legs meeting, feet meeting floor, the fast, fast beat of my heart with its one poor valve, my lungs empty of air, my mind moving. My document will work. We'll find the fourth wall. The fourth wall of the room is windowed too, is itself a mirror of the blue wall that is not blue, is only the same ecru as the other two, its neighbors, shoulder against whitish shoulder. On the fourth wall, the roses from the first spill over. The fourth wall, too, is broken by petal and thorn. The fourth wall is cool against the palm, though having not yet entered, I cannot tell you how I know. I am still standing in the doorway. I am the frame itself, the lintel, the sill. I am on the verge. I do not belong to the room. I think of it. I wonder around its shape, the book on the table, the walls. The fourth wall of the room is the one where looking becomes itself an entire action, where standing one can see the movement of the world outside. The fourth wall has a door in it, a glass door with narrow panes, a conservatory door, a greenhouse, a glass house, a solarium. Through the door is the world, perhaps the porch, perhaps my own back turned to the things inside the room, perhaps that is another room, perhaps I do not see myself, I do not see the pen moving in my hand, the fingers folding careful squares of paper, the contemplation of the landscape, looking for cranes, for a wandering moose, for the trees themselves, the receding mountains, the whole of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Esther. Let me switch the view here, folks, so we can all see each other great on the screen. So if it's okay, if we could open it up to questions, would you all be open to questions from our audience? Great. Does anyone have any questions for our guests, either about their work or about themselves or their process? So yeah.
So my question is, I'm always afraid to enter that contest because I'm not confident that anything I wrote in 3 days would live up to this quality.
Yeah.
So how did they overcome that?
Great question. I don't know. You probably didn't hear it. I'm going to repeat it for the three of you, and this is for each of you to answer in your own way. It would be great to hear from all of you. So the question is we have a poet in the audience who's wondering, I've always been afraid to enter this contest, thinking there's kind of a fear of trying to write something good in 3 days. How did the three of you overcome that, even to sign up, but then throughout the 3 days?
I'm happy to go first. Sarah, do you want to go?
Oh, no, you go ahead, you go ahead.
I was going to say that I found it really helpful to choose a process that is different than how I normally write. So normally, I would be inspired by an image or some language, and I would sit down and I would try to craft something, and that takes a lot of time for me. So that's why I decided to record things, because I never do that, and the fact that it was something new meant that there was no right way to do it, and so that removed a lot of the kind of editorial attacky stuff that happens around whether it's good enough or, it was just sort of creating out of nothing. So I found that really helpful. So maybe thinking about a process that would be really new to you or something that is really outside your normal approach would create some freedom for that to just kind of unfold as it will.
I know for mine, I bounced around to a couple different topics in those 3 days. Initially I was I'm gonna do found poems, and it just wasn't happening. And I kept telling myself, I'm not gonna write about anything emotional because I'm just gonna sit here and cry for 3 days. But then I did that. But for me, having boundaries on my writing really helps. So by saying I'm going to do all American sentences, I'm constrained by the space. And then the theme helped too, because I chose a select number of rooms where the poems could take place. So trying to tell a story in such a brief way, I think really helped me. Because normally I like to ponder things and I like to agonize over line breaks, and this got rid of a lot of that for me.
Yeah, I would definitely second that about structure. I mean, once I was working in the space of a room, there were a certain number of beats that I had to hit, and letting myself bring in the other things that were happening in my life in that weekend was also productive because I needed to keep going, but having the specific structure. I did also make a lot of jokes with my friends about how this is specifically where I excel, is the sprint of I got a deadline and I'm gonna finish a whole thing as quickly as possible and then put it in one box. So it was also just fun for me.
A follow-up question for that, and you started to hint at it a little bit, but I'm curious with the three of you, having done this contest in 3 days and not really having much time at all to probably revise or really second guess even at times. You needed to make choices, you needed to set rules or boundaries for what you were doing. How do you feel that has maybe influenced the way that you look at your writing, and how you may see it influencing the way that you go about writing in the future? Do you think it'll have any new influence on you?
I would say so. This seed, this sort of core, has turned into a whole collection since this weekend happened. And I feel it's offered me some excitement or some hope that projects. I don't necessarily have to sit and think for years and know exactly what I'm doing. I can just make a bunch of work and then see what happens. And that the speed of it and the intensity of it felt really helpful in terms of faith that new work would come. Because I think there can be this thing that happens for me where I don't write for a while and then I'm scared to start over or to start again. So knowing that this process happened sort of creates the possibility for it to happen again. And I think that's really useful.
And I'll chime in there too before one of our other writers shares as well, I hope. So our contest we had a couple of years ago, same thing happened that you just described. This author, her name's Amy Devine from Australia. She had written a beautiful chapbook during the 3-day contest. It wasn't picked as one of the winners, it was one of the finalists, and she continued to work on it, and we recently published the full-length book, and it's called Speaking of Bees. It's one of our most recent on the same publisher that put you all out too. So I'm so glad to hear that was what happened for you, Ayala.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that it felt just like very validating of potential and process to just that became the focus of those 3 days, and that's what I was doing, and there was a thing, and it was like a good reminder that is the thing that you can do, is you can sit down with the prompt and just like generate a bunch of stuff, throw some of it away, but like add something at the end. So I think it was similarly for me like a good reminder that like I could sit down and do this, and I didn't have to like fear entering the process.
I think it was also helpful to me, like, because it was over this Labor Day weekend, so like everybody wanted to go do something. I was like, I can't. Like, so I think like giving myself like the permission to be like, this is my time to work, and like I need to work, and I want like having the deadline was definitely helpful to that, but like it felt very empowering to be able to be like, we can do that next weekend. Like. I need to get this while I'm getting it done. And like just being able to say yes to that process. And feeling like I have to say no to a lot of other things that would have either this project would have dragged on, or it just wouldn't have gotten finished. So I think that's the lesson I carry forward, I think, the most.
And also just on the timing, I forgot that it was Labor Day weekend, but I did not forget that it was my birthday weekend, so it ended up being like a very nice close out the year. Gonna not do anything else, just gonna focus on this for what I'm making right now.
Not a bad birthday present to yourself to write an award-winning book, over the weekend, just knock it off. Okay, one more round. Anyone else have any questions or anything for any of our authors? Oh, yeah. Good question. One more time, had a request to see the third book here. Could any of you three speak to these covers? So I'm showing a little bit of the front and back for our people in YouTube land. Everybody here can see them in person. All right. Cat lady. Yeah, could you maybe tell us a little bit about how you decided on the cover? I know Ayala, we worked on ours together, so but you had an idea in mind what you wanted to do, so maybe you could speak a little to that, or why you chose the image you chose. But yeah, I'd love to hear about the covers.
Yeah, so Ron, you helped me with that. Together, I think we were envisioning, how do you represent the therapy room or the therapy space in a way that is recognizable, but also makes it a little bit strange. Because for a while we were playing with literally taking a picture of the couch in my office, or what do couches look like that are in therapy rooms? What don't they look like? All these AI images that were no, that's definitely not right. And then this image being kind of weird, but in a good way, not in a that's not quite right way, but in a that's definitely not it, and that makes an awesome way. I think that's why we chose that one, and I love the dark background and the kind of darkness and saturation of the color in the image. That feels like it captures something about how like dreamlike working with the subconscious can be. So that I really am grateful, Ron, for your ongoing back and forth around that.
And I had a sense of, I wanted to create a sense of like this prism. I was thinking about very much like a rectangular prism like sitting on top of me the whole time I was writing this. And so I just took myself to the public domain and started looking through museums' collections of work from the public domain. And that's from an illuminated manuscript that like the creator is unknown, but they're all of these like weird geometric drawings. And so the fact that there's like this bird existing outside of the space and these weird shaped prisms just like resonated with the experience of creating this room as I was writing. So I just found the right thing on the internet.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. And I looked at pictures of the cat that is the cat lady cat. And he either looks terrifyingly ill, or it was like he looks like a kitten and there's no in between. And I was like, that's not gonna work. So I also went to the public domain because I was like, I have a love of like weird medieval animals. And somehow I stumbled into a collection of old postcards. And this was one of the postcards that is in the public domain. And it just fit. I was like, this is perfect. We're done. Yeah.
Which if you haven't done that, highly recommend just like going to a museum website and looking through their stuff in the public domain. There's weird stuff in it.
Well, thank you again. One more time, can we give it up for all of our 3 award-winning now poets? So, the 3 of you, just so you know, Peter White Public Library, they'll be mailing out soon. You're going to get your copies. You're going to get your prizes. And anything you make from book sales today, you will also get in your package. And so I would be looking for that coming soon. So, again, thank you all so much. It's so great to have you here in Marquette, Michigan at Peter White Public Library. Thank you for entering the contest, and thank you for being here today to share your wonderful books. We're blessed to have you, so thanks again. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great afternoon. See you later.